On the 7th of October 2023, Hamas fired thousands of rockets into Israel before the group's terrorists breached the Gaza border and attacked the Jewish nation by air, sea and land in one of the deadliest and biggest attacks on Israel. Israel marked its first anniversary of the fighting with Hamas as it continued striking the Palestinian group's targets in Gaza and Hezbollah facilities in Lebanon amidst fears of a full-fledged regional war. The conflict in West Asia has driven up the cost of shipping and logistics, with ships having to take a detour now around Africa. Risk insurance premiums and other surcharges have gone up for shipping companies. According to industry estimates, a single tanker voyage from Asia to northwestern Europe now costs shippers an extra $1 million and delays of several weeks. Over the last year, composite freight rates have shot up by over 150%. The conflict in West Asia is intensifying as we speak, even more after Iran launched a series of missiles at Israel. This escalation not only threatens regional stability, but could have serious consequences not just for West Asia, but for the world as a whole, as this region accounts for almost a third of global crude oil production. So far, fears of major disruption in the supply of crude oil has not materialized, mainly due to Iran's decision to not block the Strait of Hormuz, through which over half of all crude oil and at least 80% of natural gas bought by India pass through. In the first 4 months of this financial year, Iraq, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates continue to be the second, third and fourth largest sources of crude oil for India, with Russia being the largest. Also, India's trade with most West Asian countries has managed to be free from any major disruption, except for Israel, Lebanon and Jordan. India's trade with Gulf Cooperation Council, or GCC, which includes Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, has also remained robust. In the first 7 months of this calendar year, India's exports to GCC countries grew by nearly 18% to $34 billion, while imports grew by 10% to nearly $69 billion. However, the escalating tensions in the Middle East are beginning to cast a shadow over global investor sentiment and could possibly influence the direction of major central banks' future policies, including India's own Reserve Bank of India. The global monetary easing cycle began a few months ago with central banks around the world cutting interest rates after a prolonged period of maintaining decade-high levels to combat inflation. These rate cuts were seen as necessary to stimulate economic growth, but the ongoing conflict between Iran and Israel poses a significant threat to this recovery.